Hi, I'm Matt from Tubby Tarot. Welcome to another Sunday chat. So today I want to talk to you about something that I've been thinking about a little bit this week. Um, I've been noticing a lot of overseas countries are kind of shutting everything down because of COVID. Again, I think Germany's gone into like a heavy lockdown. Stuff's happening in China where they're shutting huge cities down. Um, there's just been so much COVID stuff. Okay, and every couple of weeks the situation in countries change. So this week we're going to be on full lockdown. Then let's see if we'll do that for 20 days or 14 days, and then we'll reassess. And then they reassess, and suddenly you are not locked down. Then the pubs can open, then the pubs have to close. Then restaurants can only have people sitting outside, and then churches can only have 50 people in them, and then 3 weeks later, okay, churches can be open, temples can be open, you can have 150 people, blah, blah, blah. In South Africa, we have a whole thing where only like in big buildings, you're only allowed to take like 50% of what the building can hold, and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I'm sure every single one of you understand what I'm talking about, okay? Now, how do we keep our spirituality up? How do we keep our energies up, our energies positive, our energies really like a mojo, as you say, as we say? How do we keep that sort of strong? I think everybody has different ways of coping with it, but one of the things I want to specifically speak about, and I want to ask you, how do you deal with your spirituality during this time? Especially people who go to a certain place to worship, for instance, people who go to church, people who go to temple, even people who go, perhaps you belong to a coven and you would meet somewhere, either in someone's home or in a designated space. How do you guys cope? How are you coping with this? Because to my mind, it's going to be really, really stressful. I can't imagine saying that, okay, only 50% of people can go to church, can come into the church. How do you know if you're part of that 50%? Do you have to book a seat or book a pew? If you're at temple, how do you know that you're going to be the one to get in? Do you stand in a long queue to each go in 50 people at a time? Because don't forget, temples, you don't sit and listen to a sermon as such. It's like a lot of the time it's in and out. Okay, even sort of Wiccans, how do you guys get together? There are so many questions I have about this. How is this impacting you as a person? I think as a solitary witchy practitioner, I don't think it impacts you that much. But I do believe that if you worship in a group, it's going to be a lot more difficult for you to kind of wrap your head around what's going on and to come out feeling spiritually fulfilled. Especially people like Christians who have that fellowship. You have the fellowship where you all get together, and it's a kind of a joint energy that is built up within the church. I know I've used to go to church. I know what it's like. Even in temples, you have that energy that builds up. I'm sure many of you are pagan, and you would perhaps go into the woods or into a park or whatever. That would perhaps be a little bit easier. So for people who are solitary and they go out into the garden or whatever, it's not impacting you a huge amount. But the actual energies that are happening in the world or within your city or your town, that has become quite dense, I'm sure, with all the negative press, the scaremongering, the people that you see actually dropping down with COVID, going to hospital, getting sick. How do we stay focused, and how do we stay uplifted and energetic and this ray of sunshine, this ray of positive energy? It's hard. It's really, really hard, because where do you get that happiness, that energy from? And that's a question that I'm asking you. To carry on, to not get discouraged, to not feel left out when your family can't see you, where you can't go to church and you can't be with your fellow Christians or your fellow Wiccans. Are you doing it via Zoom? Are you everybody getting together on Zoom or on Skype? I don't know if anybody uses Skype anymore. Or WhatsApp or whatever. Are you doing small fellowships at home where you can only have, say, 5 people in a room or 5 people sitting in the garden? These are things we have to start thinking about, because I don't see this virus going away anytime soon. I think it's going to be around for forever. I don't think it's ever going to be eradicated. That's just my point of view. It's not a negative point of view. It's just my point of view. I don't find it a negative point of view. I think we all just have to adapt to this. Like influenza, like flu, we've all had to just adapt to it over the years. And it's now here. It's part of our everyday life. We get the flu. Wow, okay. But this is really impacting so much, and it's changing so much that we've always taken for granted. We are so used to meeting in groups for our religious practices. We are so used to sharing that energy, and now we have to start using different means and different ways of connecting as a group to worship. We have to perhaps, as I say, use the internet, use whatever we can, use the tools that are online, break things up. Perhaps we have to have 4 sermons on a Sunday instead of 2, to fit everyone into the space. It's concerning to me because I do feel that there is this, I don't know if it's a negative change or if it's just change, but I do feel there's a stirring in the air that's not 100% kosher. I don't know, maybe that's just me. I don't know. How do you guys feel about that? Do you feel that perhaps there is this change in the energies and change in the way people worship and change in the way people do their spirituality or their spiritual thing? How do you cope? How are you coping? By not being able to hang around with the people that spiritually uplift you or that spiritually are part of your clique or your group, Let me know in the comments below, because I really would like to know how you guys are dealing with this. I worship solitary. I don't really go to temple. I say my prayers. I have as you can see, I have my altar in the background, and I say my prayers there every night. So this hasn't really affected me, but I know there are so many people out there who this is really negatively affected. If you are one of them, let me know down below what you are doing to fix the situation or how you have adapted to the situation. Yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about today, and it's just something I think a lot of us need to think about. How has our worship changed with COVID? I'm Matt from Tummy Tarot, and I will see you next week for some more, I don't know, chat. What are we going to call this Sunday chat? What are we going to call it? You guys come up with a name. I will see you next week. Bye. Hi, thanks for watching my video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and go and check out some more of my videos in my playlists.